7 a.m. and the children are heading to school. But unlike other mainstream schools in Singapore, this school starts their day a little differently. Literally translated from the word school in Arabic, this is a madrasah, a full-time Islamic religious institution.
For pre-levels, we take about 14 subjects, which includes comparative religion. We study Islamic jurisprudence, we study Arabic language, which is a must, the Quran, and many things.
So usually my school starts at around 7:30 with the normal morning assembly that all schools in Singapore have. And then after that, we study until maybe around 10:45, and then there will be recess, of course. And then afterwards, we study until 1:30. And then at 1:30, we actually have our Zohor prayers, which is our afternoon prayers.
With only 6 madrasahs in the city-state and students capped at 400 per year, getting into a primary level madrasah is not easy. Despite its stringent criteria and rigorous education structure, some parents still opt to send their children to madrasahs.
There are those who feel that they want to make sure that the children grow up or learn in an Islamic environment, an environment that gives the children the necessary practice, the necessary exposure to the values, to the virtues of the religion. And there are those who just feel that they want to give their children the opportunity to learn a dual curriculum.
And with Southeast Asia becoming more radicalized, madrasahs shoulder another responsibility to help its students combat radicalism.
The issue of radicalism or exclusivism, when you look at the typical curriculum that's being taught at the madrasahs, those are issues which truly a madrasah student would have the necessary skills and knowledge to overcome. And that's very important, not just because of the current climate, but because the message of the religion and the teachings of the religion has to be given the forefront.
Once they put on their school uniform and headgear, madrasah students like Haziq and Hanani are not just representing their school, they're also representing Islam.
Nowadays, people keep thinking that Muslims and Islams are related to terrorism. But I think the people who actually does this terrorism, they might misunderstand the sentences in the Quran and actually think that it means to terrorize. But no, Islam is all about peace. I think that if on social media especially, we are to correct others, because this misunderstanding has spread all over the world because of the terrorists. But then we as madrasah students are responsible to help and teach them.
The extremists, they misuse the concept of Islam for their own wants. Okay, so it's our duty to tackle this problem bit by bit. We do have our programs, exchange programs with other schools, okay, in order to integrate well with others and in order to find the common things within us.
For private Islamic religious teacher Ustaza Alania, who is also a PhD candidate in Islamic civilization, the most important element in the battle against radicalism is the teachers.
In combating radical ideologies or extremism, a lot of people have to play their roles. I mean, in this case, I think teachers plays the most important role. What has to be done is that teachers have to still continue to seek knowledge, deepen their knowledge about Islam, and also to keep abreast of the development today. For now, I think they have to learn beyond the religious text. They have to learn beyond the subject that they taught at school. Because, you know, nowadays students have a lot of questions, and their questions are really challenging.
She also believes that madrasahs and the Islamic teachers in Singapore have proven their positive impact in the fight against extremism.
I would confidently say that the fact that we do not have any madrasah students who ended up, being or joined in these activities or the extremism, this is actually a quite positive indicator, which means that those who have becoming radicalized is not from the madrasah. So in short, madrasah is not the breed for terrorism. It's far away from that. We can also see how the religious scholars themselves is helping those people who have been radicalized or in the group, helping them to understand Islam better.
Ustazah Alania received higher religious education in Egypt and Malaysia and did her master's studies on the relationship between states and the madrasah.
I think how madrasah plays its role in Singapore is that, unlike the other madrasah probably in some other countries, what makes our madrasah system itself is because our fabric of community overall. I mean, because our community itself, Singaporean, consists of multi-religious, multi-faith. That itself has actually made us learn about living coexistence peacefully together with them. I would safely say that we have a balanced curriculum over here. The full-time madrasah, basically, the students have to learn both the Islamic subject, Islamic studies, and also the technical or the secular subjects. So as young as primary school, they have already learned English, maths, science, and when they are in secondary level, they are just like the normal national school students.
Since primary 1, madrasah students are exposed to a dual curriculum which combines secular with religious learning.
Still downloading the programming.
Fadila, who used to teach in mainstream schools for 2 decades, says he now finds joy at the madrasah in being able to link his religion with the subjects that he teaches.
Basically, why I joined madrasah is because it's the heart. I feel it's the heart. You feel the satisfaction is there because I find it very satisfying to teach science, to show the science of science. Position. Understand what I'm trying to say? Okay? The children can draw a relationship between what is in the Quran, the religion, and what is known in science. Good.
To complement its dual curriculum, madrasah students often engaged in out-of-class activities with a focus on ensuring a holistic education. Pre-university students like Haziq and Hanani are now at a crossroad. They have to choose between whether to continue on a religious or academic path.
A few of my friends, after O-levels, decided to pursue their studies in polytechnics. I think it's good because in a way we are spreading the message of Islam in different means. Just because you're studying religious subjects doesn't mean you have to become an ustazah. Doesn't mean that you have to go to the University of Azhar or the University of Jordan. You can also become a doctor and engineer. If I were to pursue the Islamic religious stream, I would probably go for the Sharia law because that one is actually quite interesting. It's about the Islamic laws and like the do's and don'ts. That way I can actually be an Islamic lawyer.
Quite a number of them do leave the school system at their O-levels to join in the national institutions. So they go to poly or they go to the JCs or they just go to other religious institutions. But generally, I would say about almost 60 to 70% of our students continue with the religious studies up to university level. Some of them also move out to totally different areas, whether it's social work, it's teaching in national schools, pursuing a science-related career. So at the end of the day, I think for madrasah education, it's really about ensuring that they would have good quality jobs to come back to and that the training that they have received would allow that. So the quality jobs from the religious sector would be for them to come back in to be religious teachers, as imams or as preachers. because of the 12-year exposure that they have to the religion, many of them are very inspired to find out more and to really go deep into the religious learning. They would come back and serve the various institutions in Singapore.
This virtuous cycle of students coming back to serve in the Islamic institutions in Singapore is crucial in keeping the values of Islam relevant in both society and the battle against extremism.
I remember that this issue of radical ideologies or extremism started, I think, since 2008. Of course, back then it wasn't about internet much or social media much. Now then it's the social media. So we can anticipate in 10 years' time what are probably the challenges that the students or our people are facing. Yeah, we need to always keep progressive, and that is what Islam is all about, to always be progressive and to keep abreast in the development and also to see what is important for that current time and for the future.
Armed with their madrasah education, these youth are prepared not only for their future, they're also confident of their role in bringing about greater interreligious and cultural understanding both within Singapore and beyond.